Hello YouTube, this is Thongger and today I'll be bringing you another Rome Total War online commentary video where I will be playing as Greece against my opponent who will be playing as Egypt. My opponent is from the USSR clan, and yeah, these guys are very good and they tend to play Egypt and Britain. Egypt mainly, I think. Anyway, that's my Greek army. I have 6 units of armored hoplites spread out in this anti-chariot formation, with 2 units of militia hoplites on my flanks. 6 units of archers, 2 slingers, 2 Cretan archers, and 4 militia cav. My slingers are set up on my flanks to repel enemy chariots, and that's them returning fire with the USSR players' chariots, and they've already begun to take casualties from my anti-slinger batteries that's on my right flank, and the chariots have they've already taken casualties from returning slingshot fire. Anyway, my opponent's moving his archers up, and here he displays the real weakness of my crappy anti-chariot net, which doesn't really work well against enemy cav because they're easier to control. So he just runs through the gaps between my armored hoplites and starts knocking out my archers one by one, and my armored hoplites are too fat and slow to really do anything, and I have pretty bad micro anyway. So anyway, I start losing my archers very quickly, although I managed to kill off 1 unit of desert cav, and I managed to overwhelm that unit of desert cav with my militia cav. Although on my right flank things are much worse. He has a mixed force of chariots and desert cav knocking out my archers. I try to get my militia cav dead and realize it's hopeless, and I bail them out there, and they are sent packing, or they return fire with the odd javelin here and there, but they're not having that significant an impact, although they are doing the job of leading some enemy chariots and cav away, so that's a good thing. But the desert cav returned to destroy more of my archers, and now my armored hoplites are left sitting in the middle of no man's land with no archer support, no cav support, and my enemy is moving up his archers and Pharaoh's guardsmen to wipe me out. Anyway, my militia cav have been trapped by the magical red line, and here you're gonna see something quite interesting. 3 militia cav against 1.5 units of chariots. You'd think the chariots would win, but just wait and see. My militia cav are trapped like a bunch of trapped rats, but they're gonna fight pretty ferociously here, and they actually bring down a good number of these chariots, and they knock out that chariot, and they knock out a few more chariots, and oh my gosh, what do you know, the chariots rout. Oh my gosh, big surprise. So now my militia cav are left hiding in this spot in the invisible mud. So for all my opponent cares, my militia cav have been routed and his chariots magically disappeared. What do you know? Who would have thunked it? Anyway, my opponent is using the last of his desert cav to try and knock out more of my surviving archers and slingers. I've managed to salvage most of my slingers because they were within the safety of my armored hoplites and militia hoplite sandwich. So anyway, I lose a few more archers and slingers here, but I managed to repel this desert cav attack, and now my militia cav are hiding in the invisible mud. So I'm gonna try and draw my opponent forward because he has no more cav support, and he's lost a lot of his chariots as well. He only has some chariot archers left, so he's spreading out here, and I'm gonna pull back further to lure my opponent into my cleverly or flukily designed trap. So anyway, my opponent spread his Pharaoh's guardsmen out on his flanks, and I have no choice but to sit there and do nothing like a vegetable because I have no more cav, or so everyone thought, including me, until bam, I release my hidden cav and I run through his unprotected center, and supported by armored hoplite elements, my militia cav are gonna strike at his unprotected archers and pluck them like ripe fruits. So yep, we can see my militia cav are just running forward, and I start slaughtering these archers. Haha. Before they can really do any damage on my army. He tries to rescue them with some chariots, but they're too fat and slow to do anything much, and they're too tired from running their Cantabrian circle. So anyway, my armored hoplites, my militia hoplites are holding off these Pharaoh's guardsmen, and I'm gonna use my cav to knock out my opponent's archers 1 unit at a time, just as he did to me. So his archers don't really stand a chance against my militia cav, and now I'm going to use my armored hoplites for the reason which I brought them for, which was to beat up Pharaoh's guardsmen, and they do it very well because Pharaoh's guardsmen, although they're supposed to be the elite of the Egyptian army in this game, they really stand no chance against armored hoplites. That unit of armored hoplites they were already depleted from a skirmish with some desert cav, so they're not doing too well in that little fray. That's the enemy general unit. My armored hoplites are just squaring off with those guys. Neither unit is actually doing all that much. And when my militia hoplites are moving in to sandwich that unit of Pharaoh's guardsmen, and if those elite Pharaoh's guardsmen are getting killed by militia hoplites, I'm not sure if I would want them protecting me, being guardsmen and all. Anyway, my armored hoplites are just continuing to mash these Pharaoh's guardsmen into a bloody mess, because they really have no answer to my supremely armored hoplites. Oh wow. Anyway, that's the enemy general unit, and my opponent's chucking his Pharaoh's bowmen. They're pretty much out of ammo by now, I think, into the fray, and I'm gonna hack them down as well. They don't stand a chance, armed with little knives and ceremonial armor that doesn't really serve much of a purpose in a sword fight. And then my slingers have been returning fire with some chariots, and then I'm just riding down the last of my opponent's archers, and his armies is pretty much destroyed. Oh, the phone alarm, I swear it always goes off. Anyway, so that's the end of the battle, and here is the results screen. Yep, that's results screen. It was a very close victory, and I think the only reason I won was because of that fluke event where my militia cav magically survived. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time. Thongger out.